Hi guys, blackendrose here, and today we're doing something a little different, which is the Kerbal space program. Now this is a simulation game found on Steam at the moment. There's probably other links to it as well, but this is a simulation game, as you can guess, for spaceflight. Now I have played quite a bit of this before, and it's still in development at the moment, or to a degree anyway. Let's see, blackendrose. Right, so here we are. We have the space plane hangar on the left, with vehicle assembly building in the middle. On the right is the tracking station, and we have the launch pad in the top right. And it looks like we have a flag now. I haven't played this for a while, so there's probably been some changes since I've last played it. External command seat, remote guidance unit. Some new bits and bobs here. Looks like I've made some improvements. There is literally thousands of combinations you could do with this. Now what I'm going to do is construct something very basic to give you an idea. Let's see, I can't remember how to do this now. So we've got a command module here. Now before we can get anywhere, we need to give it some fuel. I'm going to base it on a design I saw recently. I think it was for the Orion. I want to see how it flies in this, so let's load up with this humongous fuel tank. Raise it a bit further. Now, for such a large fuel tank, we need a big ass engine. So let's load on this bad boy. It's the biggest ass engine I can get in this. Now, below that was what's known as a solid fuel engine. As soon as I can find, here we go. Now one of those was loaded on the bottom of it, but unfortunately, if I load that on the bottom, as soon as that solid fuel engine runs out, this other one isn't going to fire. So I need to put something in between the two to make sure that it does fire. Now what I need for that is one of these. It's called a decoupler. Got to make sure I get the right thing. So, hold on. Get off. Right. We put the decoupler on. We put that on the bottom. Now then, this was the basic design I saw. It's probably all going to fall apart horribly. I'm going to make a slight modification to the design and put something called an SAS on it. And the reason for that is that will help compensate for the early flight. Now then, this is a very basic design. This will probably just about make it into orbit. Now, I want to add one or two parts to this. We want one of those. And we want a smaller engine underneath. Small by comparison anyway. No, we don't want another one of those. We want another decoupler. Right there. Right, so... oh yeah, we need a parachute at the top. Where's the parachute? There we go. So what we have is an incredibly large and probably very flimsy rocket. You know what? I'm going to go with this. It's all for a laugh anyway. So what we have on the right here, in the bottom right, is our flight plan. Now we can add parts to the flight plan. So we start off with the solid booster at the bottom. Then we want the decoupler to fire there. And we want the big ass engine to fire with that decoupler. Then we have the other decoupler up here that will go, and the other rocket will fire after that. Then after all that's done, we have the parachute at the top for the re-entry. This is just going to be an attempt to get into orbit. The whole thing's probably going to fall apart horribly, because I don't think there's enough power on the bottom here. Still, let's get our way to the launch pad and see what we end up with. I'm not sure that solid rocket booster is supposed to hold all that weight, but here's our little kerbals here. Let's have a look inside the cabin. Hey, look! There's our other little kerbin. We can see our little kerbals inside. It's brilliant. Okay, how do I get out of this? No, that's not what I want. Not sure how I get out of this view now. Right, sorry about that. As I was trying to get my way out of the view, I accidentally pressed the stop recording button. So I'll stitch those together. But we've got our little kerbals here: the Bill Kerman, Jebediah Kerman, and Bob Kerman, and they seem to be having a fun time. They're not going to have a fun time by the end of this. Now then. Okay, so that throttles up, the shift button throttles up. So, let us begin. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, blast off! Oh dear. I think I'm a little bit top heavy. Whoops! I'm not going anywhere! I think I needed more boosters on the bottom there to compensate for the weight. This is based on the Orion space rocket, so how the hell? How did they manage it? Well, that was a colossal waste of time. Let's get on with the next phase. Uh-oh. Didn't turn on the SAS. Right. Let's throttle down a bit, because otherwise my rocket overheats. And I learned that you can only go so fast in the early atmosphere, so there's no point in burning yourself too quickly. I'm still going up. But if I overheat this engine, it's going to blow up. As you can see on the left there, it's overheating slightly, so turn it down a little bit. But I'm going up! I'm going up! When I used to play this quite a bit, I've actually made it to the moon, or the Mun as they call it in this, and there's also a second moon around this planet, which I've made it to as well. But for the time being, this is more going to be a bit of education and a lot of fun of me making mistakes with these stupid contraptions. Now at the top you can see my altitude, and you can also see the atmosphere indicator. As I get into the upper atmosphere, I can move a bit faster and get a bit more speed. Unfortunately, again, the engine will overheat. Now it looks like I'm running out of fuel for this, so this whole mission's probably going to have to be scrapped. I'll probably wave and make orbit. Right, the engine's gone, so don't think I've actually got enough altitude. Let me check the map. What these buttons on the side are? Information. Oh, the crew. Courage and stupidity. Brilliant. Oh, love it. Right. Now, I have made a bit of a mistake here, because when you're going into orbit, you should really alter your trajectory slightly to the left or the right, so that you come up at an angle and you can establish your orbit around the planet. So let's cut the engines. Now what we can do at this point is we can set ourselves manoeuvre points. I'll explain all of these symbols later. For now, what we can do is this, which increases our orbit so that the apostasis and the parapis are in their position, are in suitable positions. Now, the apostasis is the highest point of your orbit, and the peristasis, the periapis, is the lowest point in your orbit. Now, with that manoeuvre set, all I need to do is move myself to this blue position here. Set the SAS and just wait. Now, I reach the position in about a minute, so I shall take the time to explain a couple of things. In order to add a manoeuvre, you have to click on a point in your trajectory here, your route. The green button on the right there increases the apostasis so that your orbit gets wider. The green button to the left decreases it so your orbit becomes tighter, and eventually you'll be caught in the gravity and pulled down. These other buttons, the purple one at the top and the bottom, I'll give you an example. They adjust that so that your orbit adjusts its angle. These other ones do a similar thing, but on a different plane. Using those manoeuvres, you can make your way to the Mun, the Minmus, and if you like, to other planets in this solar system. It's a very big game, this, and there's a lot of content to work with. Right, I'm almost at the burn point now. So, let's start burning. Now, it says I've got to burn for 1 minute 39 seconds. Now, the amount of fuel I've got on this, I probably cannot make a controlled burn of that long. Because unfortunately, I didn't actually get any altitude with the solid rocket boosters. I really should have had more of those on. I probably could have actually made a bit of distance on that. I used to love those solid rocket boosters. I used to pack my ships with like about 10 of those things. Then I realised I was actually doing things completely wrong. Right. What's my trajectory like? Ran out of fuel. Oh, that's it. No more fuel. And my orbit is not, my manoeuvre is not completed, so I'm going down. It looks like I'm going for a splashdown on the dark side of the planet. This mission's a failure. We're going down. Sorry, Bill, Jebediah, and Bob. I'm afraid we're going down. Let's speed up time a bit. Oh yeah, I've still got the throttle up. About that. So let's speed up time a bit. So unfortunately, this hasn't gone too well. I didn't get enough thrust early on to make it into orbit. So I'm sorry guys, we're going down. It's a good thing I fitted the parachute on this. I just hope it can take the weight, otherwise the parachute's actually going to detach and the command module is actually just going to crash. But we're going down. Although I must admit, they still seem quite happy. Although Bob seems a little bit anxious. In fact, he looks a bit scared, and Bill now looks a bit scared. Right, we're now entering the Earth's atmosphere at an alarming speed. We're burning up, guys. Now, see, if this was real, we probably would have burnt to a cinder at that point, because we're entering the atmosphere so damn fast. But my speed is slowing down because I'm encountering wind resistance. So the resistance from the air is slowing me down as I enter the atmosphere. The SAS is keeping me stable. Now, as you can see, my altitude, I'm about reaching 7 kilometers from sea level. And for some reason, I'm still slowing down, even though I'm dropping at 200 meters a second. Well, let's be fair, I am dropping at an alarming rate. If I don't slow myself down, I'm actually going to blow up on the water. Shall I slow myself down? Fire the parachute. Right, now the parachute won't kick in until I reach 500 meters. Oh! Well, it worked better than I'd hoped. Because the empty fuel tank and the rocket engine actually, the force was too much when the parachute opened that it detached from the command module, as did the SAS. However, the command module was still attached, so the most important bit has actually survived this horrifying mission. So now I just coast my way down to the sea, well, to a splashdown. All things considered, the Kerbals have survived this mission. There we go. We've splashed down, and the Kerbals have survived. Oh, the command module's turning. That's alright. The Kerbals have survived. So, yeah. There's the entire flight plan. Yeah, structural failure. So yeah, that was an initial flight. Now this was a joke. What I'm going to do is I'm going to assemble another rocket and I'm going to fly up in the next part. It's still going to be based on the same design, but I'm going to fire it up anyway. Now there's a module in this. I'm just trying to remember where it is. Ah, this is it. This will allow me to attach 3 solid rocket boosters to the bottom. Right, so if I do this, it should do all. Yep, there we go. Now this isn't meant to be any sort of moon lander of any description. It's just designed to get into orbit and probably get stuck there. But for now, thank you for watching me, guys. That was the first recorded space flight by me. I intend to do some more. This is quite a fun game to work with. Go on Steam, try it yourself. They're adding stuff to this all the time. You can make space stations, lunar colonies, lunar landers, lunar buggies, remote flights, and there's all those planets you can go to as well. It works on real space physics. So gravity can slingshot you around. It's really, really intense stuff, and I highly recommend you try it. If you can't get your head around the physics, it's just fun to send your rockets up and blow up your Kerbins, or just make some really outrageous designs. But thank you for watching me, guys. I'm blackendrose, and I will see you in my next flight. Take care, guys.